Ooh, and it is show time. We are live. All right, how's everybody doing? How's the audio? Let's do a double check, make sure the audio is working. We just had Tesla report earnings, probably one of the worst reports of all time. No, I'm just kidding. The report wasn't that bad. It was as expected. We were expecting weakness for Tesla. If you look at the bottom strip, we're going to go over why Tesla's going to make you rich, right? Now, obviously it's a little ambitious, but if you understand what Tesla's doing, you're going to see the dream. All right, cool. We got volume. So let's go ahead and dive through this. First, we're looking at price. What I say is you definitely want to buy this. You got to think about this. Tesla is not just one company. It's an entire economy being built. It's building the next generation or the next iteration or the next era of society, of how an economy is going to run, right? You have Tesla autos, and we're going to go through this: Tesla automotives, Tesla energy, Tesla insurance, Tesla robots, Tesla FSD, Tesla robotaxi, Tesla semi trucks, lithium battery refining, Tesla battery cell production. You have the diner, that's new. Okay. Tesla AI. There's a whole lot of Tesla stuff, but we want to dive a little deeper, okay, and kind of go over that narrative. So, first, let's take a look at price. We're pulling back. Look, you want to own Tesla. More than anything, you want to own Tesla. This is really, when it comes to price, everybody wants to know, where's the price for him? We're going to do a price prediction, but when you look at price, what you're really looking at is a pullback into the bullish wedge pattern, okay? Pull back into the bullish wedge pattern. So, we're going to talk about the dream of Tesla, why the hell you should own it. Okay, you should listen, not financial advice, but you want to own Tesla. This will be the biggest company in the world, I believe. Nvidia is up there, but at one point, if they execute down the road, right? A lot of companies, they fizzle out after 10 years, 15, 20. They're setting up to create an entirely new way to build an economy. It's not about just the cars. The cars are one factor. Okay. So we're looking at a wedge pattern forming. So that sell off, honestly, I'm thinking 300's the low. If it breaks below 300, it might do that. It usually comes back up. But we got some very strong technicals. Just keep that in mind. You're looking at the wedge pattern. The wedge pattern is forming. Okay. So what is Tesla? For a lot of people, why you should be involved in Tesla, right? Physical AI, transportation. Let's talk about that transportation. I'm going to switch screens here, though. We're going to get off the technicals. Let's go to... Well, as a matter of fact, let's talk about the earnings, okay? You know what? Let's talk about the earnings a little bit. Or should we start with the technicals? Or I'm sorry, should we start with the business? Okay, for some of those people that are new, let's start with the business. I got a lot of stuff out here. All right, let's go with that. Boom. Wait, why is it not letting me choose that window? Hold on, I'm getting it. Come on, StreamYard. Why are you doing this on me? StreamYard is not letting me choose the window. Okay, here we go. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so this is a little AI slide deck showing us what Tesla does. Okay, they're making 25 billion a year, pretty much annual revenue, or actually per quarter. All right. So year over year. So anyways, Tesla is a different companies. You really have three or four segments. I think they have three power segments here. Number one, they're the biggest physical AI company on the planet. Okay. As far as scale, not just, oh, you're all robotics. You have AI. They're actually scaled. This is a gigantic company, right? $20 billion a year, maybe even more than that. We'll see how that plays out. But we're talking three big segments: transportation. So AI, transportation, energy generation, and storage. So transportation, storage, and human labor, right? Whatever you want to call it, robotics. So those are the three big segments that nobody else is covering all at once, like a conglomerate, right? Physical AI, that's what it is. Transportation, energy, and robotics. So when it comes to the transportation, we all know about Model S, Model 3, Model X, Model Y, Cybertruck. We're familiar with that, right? That's a small piece of the entire future of Tesla. When you think about autonomy, we're looking at Model S and 3, and you're saying, I want to own a Model 3, I want to own a Model S. That'd be nice. I want a Model S. But eventually, we're going to get to the point where if you're trying to save money for a lot of people, you're having fully autonomous vehicles, right? They pick you up. You don't have to tip them. Also, you don't need to tip them when it comes down to it. They're doing it for free. They're going to do this at a lower cost than anybody else. By the way, Tesla creates vehicles at a lower, these electric vehicles, fully autonomous, at a lower price point than anybody even in China. As far as I know, maybe something changed, but that's what the research says, right? So you have these badass vehicles in the first place. Now they're autonomous. Okay, so full self-driving, that's pretty cool. I still want to drive a car. But if I need to get a ride from Phoenix to downtown Phoenix, it's cheaper than a Waymo, smarter than a Waymo, right? That's what I believe. Anyways, we're looking at the future here. They're faster, that's for sure. They're built different. The car is built better than the Waymo. Semi-trucks. What about autonomous semi-trucks? So now you're talking about disrupting the freight industry, right? We're disrupting transportation. We're disrupting energy, utility companies, and you're disrupting humans. We don't even have that yet. Who the hell is disrupting humans? No one. All we have is AI, knowledge work, but nobody's disrupting physical human work. Oh, that's going to destroy get your feelings out of it. You want to own this crap because you're not just getting a bunch of my cousins working construction on the corner of West Phoenix, but they get 3 robots next to them aiding them, right? Increasing productivity. And they work for free. No, I'm just kidding. They work, they don't complain. So we talk about the transportation. You have vehicles, you have the semi trucks, you have all that stuff, Model Y, blah, 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 whatever. But we're going to get to the point where they're doing it agnostic and they're scaling right now. They're scaling fully autonomous vehicle, robo taxi. They're scaling it where there is no steering wheel, there is no pedal. This machine just comes, picks you up, and moves you. So this is physical AI. Okay, the total addressable market is in the trillions. It is huge. Tesla will be the biggest, if they execute, the largest company in the world. You need to own Tesla. You want to own Tesla. I'm bullish Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Palantir, and Tesla will be the biggest physical out of all of them. It's going to have the biggest physical impact as far as assets, right? Physical assets. It's going to change what you see in the world, right? Where Bitcoin, it's not going to change what you see. It's going to change how you interact with money, the financial system in the future. So Palantir is not, you're not even going to know how Palantir is working. Chainlink, you're not even going to know. But physically, you're going to see Tesla 24/7. So let's move on to energy. Energy is crazy. Think about this. I was just talking to somebody about this. Here's your little slide deck here. Energy is $3 billion, up 100% year over year. We're talking solar panels and not just solar panels. And you're talking energy storage, right? So let's kind of picture this a little bit. Do I have a picture anywhere? I don't know if I have a picture. Let's think about a solar farm. Let me ask X to do this. Grok, come on, Grok. So we can all right. Let's see if we can get a visual here. Yes, a visual, bro. Yes, a visual. All right. Let's get a visual here so we can visualize this because you got to visualize Tesla. Okay. Tesla's going to break out. This is a gift that it sold off. I'm telling you, this is a gift that it actually sold off. All right, here we go. So we're going to go to the solar farms. Hopefully I can find it. Here we go, Grok. Nice. Right? So these are solar farms. I mean, the picture should have been wider, but forget it. So you're thinking about these solar farms. They're taking in the sun's energy. They're only going to get better over time. So what you see now, people complain, oh my God, well, the solar is not that efficient. It's only getting better. The iPhone only gets better. Cars only get better. Technology only gets better. Now you're pouring in a bunch of money from Trump, okay, fiscal policy, cutting interest rates, more money in the system. Technology is accelerating, especially with AI. So they're going to get better. How about, so you're thinking about these solar roofs on your house. What happens there? You have solar roofs, you have solar panels on your house. You take in the sun's energy, right? It goes to your power wall. I know you have to purchase it. Now you have energy in maybe 2 days that'll last you 6 months. Now you can store that, release it whenever. So it's more efficient. The cost goes down. You disrupt all the utility companies. They're not going to like it. What are they going to do? They can't shut down. They need workers. So what they're going to do, they're going to buy Tesla's This is the bull case, obviously. They're going to purchase Tesla's technology, right? They're going to have to. They're going to be forced to subscribe to Tesla because they can generate energy, store that energy better than anyone else on an industrial scale. So we're talking about homes. What's going to happen when you have solar farms for massive industrial plants? That's what's coming next. They're already doing it in Saudi Arabia, right? And of course, there is competition out there, but nobody has the manpower that Tesla has, right? Let's look at the mega pack batteries. Okay. I think the mega packs are for this is energy. I'm sorry, energy storage, right? Solar is energy generation. Okay. And now you have energy storage. It has to be stored somewhere. Generate a mega pack. Come on. You have mega pack and Powerwall. So Powerwall, I believe, uh, bro, power walls are for the houses, right? And then mega packs is where all the money's at. Actually, residential, that should be a lot of money too, right? Just a bigger battery. So let's see if we can get a mega pack battery. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, Grok. And he believes Grok is the best AI also. Oh, it's giving me more solar farms. You got to be kidding me. Bro, ChatGPT can do better than this. Damn it. Come on, bro. Um, I want a visual. I want a visual. I don't want that. I'm gonna use ChatGPT because this thing sucks. Solar farms powering mega pack batteries. Okay, let's generate that image. All right. Let's generate that image. ChatGPT, where you at? I got a lot of windows open. I think this is it. Do not look at my spelling. I just typed it as fast as I could. All right. So we talked about autos. Now it's, transportation, everything. Look, it's not even just as far as cars or automobiles and semis. It's also planes, vertical takeoff, planes. I'm not so bullish on Archer and Joby. I will trade them, but guess what? Tesla will disrupt them if they become profitable. They will create a better vertical takeoff vehicle, right? A air taxi is what they call them. Autonomous, and they'll make it autonomous, an autonomous air taxi. So they're going to disrupt everyone. You want to own it. You definitely want to own it. Come on, generate the damn thing. Let's go. But I don't have enough internet. Okay. Energy generation. I should have generated these already, but I want to do it live. I think it's better for the audience, right? Um, okay, we'll put Grok to the side. So again, you have Model S, Model 3, Model X, Model Y, Cybertruck, semis, right? Moving across country, moving stuff. And then that's vehicles. That's the transportation part. We're going to head more into the future. Welcome back, Isaiah. And solar roofs, oh, damn it, still not generating very good. Okay. Maybe it's I probably got to do a better prompt. Anyways, now you got to think of the energy business. This one's actually growing the fastest. So you have the solar farms and you have the solar roofs, and they're powering batteries, megapack batteries or Powerwall batteries, whatever. Now you have stored energy. You take out all the utility companies, not all of them, obviously, or they subscribe. Game over. That's a lot of revenue, right? We're already in the 10, we're in the this total addressable market, energy and transport, that's in the trillions, right? Trillions of revenue. That's huge. So next is Optimus, which is human labor. That's the biggest business, right? We didn't even talk about Tesla insurance. You also, oh, there it is. How's the image? Okay, that's an okay image. All right, there we go. Still generating. There we go. That's okay. I mean, it needs to be a little brighter. It's too dark. Let's make it a little brighter. Oh, don't tell. See how it does that to me? Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Let's make it a little. brighter. I wonder why it removed the image. Huh. Should have just done it underneath. So the next segment, we'll come back to this. The next segment is we have it on the bottom. We're going to talk about earnings too. We're going to go over that, but I just wanted you guys to visualize the business of Tesla, the future. You can think of Star Trek. You can think of, matter of fact, have you guys ever seen? Yeah, think of Star Trek. All that new tech, right? It's a little exaggerative. You're not going to be right on, but pretty close to it. Think of Westworld. Has anybody ever seen Westworld? That's what the damn robots are doing. Those robots are walking around in Austin, Texas right now like humans. Not like humans, but more so than anybody else. They're walking around like humans. Okay. They can make your bed, they can do your laundry. Don't even think about it. I know what you guys are thinking. You dudes out there, don't even think about it. Mess my camera. There we go. They can do that. They can make your bed, they can do your laundry, they can do your dishes. Well, I don't know how good they can do the dishes yet, but they're getting better, right? They're walking around, they're pretty much humans. Now you're replacing human labor. That's the biggest by far. I think that's a $10 trillion market. Just think of global labor. They want these to be around, I believe. Let's go ahead and click on it. Let's switch. That thing's taking way too damn long. I believe they want it to be. Why do I suck so bad at transitioning? How do these guys do this? Okay. It's okay. Let's go back to it, right? We're looking at everything. So we went through the transportation. We just talked about energy. Okay. Now, this is the big one. Full self-driving, same thing. It's part of transport, but Optimus bot is huge. That's the big one. That's the future. Okay. Up here, same thing, automotive. And we can break it down into a little more details if you want to get really granular. I don't know if anybody's down for that, right? We don't want to go too crazy, but energy. Okay, you got the solar roof, Powerwall, Megapack. We just talked about that. I just like to look at the details. Kind of cool. I don't really know about megawatts and all that. They're ahead of the game. They're the number one energy storage company in the world, right? As far as I understand. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, right? When it comes to services, these are different. I didn't really put services on there because it encompasses everything. Supercharger network. So whoever they're competing with is going to have to adapt to the supercharger network. Still gets more revenue there. There's other network effects you can build off on top of that. Service centers. I mean, who freaking knows, bro? There's so many things on here. This is also growing big, but the Optimus is the big one. Mobility, dexterity. That's important. 11 degrees of freedom. I'm not a physics, so I can't go into detail about that. But the cost is about 20, 30,000. So what happens? Are you going to go pay most construction companies, right? And this goes out to anybody doing labor. They don't pay you up front. They usually finance it, right? They usually finance their payrolls. So are you going to go pay somebody 60,000 a year, 50,000 a year when you could just get a robot for 20,000? Let's lowball it, 20, 30,000, works 24 hours, doesn't complain. They're going to produce a lot more. They may not be able to be funny, but you don't care. You need them to get the job done. You're going to have a lot of my cousins working with these damn robots. Okay. So it's game over. It's game over. It just isn't there yet. We need the money. You need to finance the bull market. And that's my expertise, which is the macro perfect setup, greatest bull market setup of all time. Very confident that Tesla is going to start leading the second half of the year. I got a price target of 600. That's heavy. And that needs to start happening quick. What's going to accelerate this price target is the Fed announcing cuts next week. That's next Wednesday. Powell needs to go ahead and commit and say, look, we're going to cut rates, right? Anyways, back to what we're speaking of here. Gen 2. So you have the robots. That covers pretty much everything. That pretty much covers everything. The next part, which is really what we're heading into, is a next generation of manufacturing. So you add the robots working inside, outside. You add their robots that are not humanoid, just the manufacturing robots. Now you can build anything: airplanes, houses, tables. I mean, who the hell tables? Are they going to be building tables? Tables, houses, TVs, phones. There's supposed to be a Tesla iPhone, airplanes, but they're not going to be planes by then. You're probably thinking of some type of electric airline. Who knows? They're building everything. This is going to be, right, more than likely, high probability, by far the biggest company in the world because they have physical AI. Nobody else has that. And that's on top of energy generation, taking it to zero. Tesla will be ginormous. You have to be patient, though. Do not believe all the FUD. Most of the little details, oh, they did this and they did that. It's irrelevant. Are they executing? Are they getting better? Forget how many cars they sold. The question is, are they producing more cars? And how are they going to do that? When the Fed starts to lower interest rates as more liquidity comes in. There's been a whole lot of supply chain disruptions. And you got to remember they're a physical company, they're not software. So they do get disrupted. But when that upswing happens, when the manufacturing cycle starts to pick up, Tesla is going to boom tremendously, right? Okay, so back to it. Um, what else are we looking at here? Oh, there's the power walls kind of powering, blah, 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 whatever. Humanoid robots doing labor. Let's see if we can get a photo of that before we move on. All right. So next thing, what are we looking at here? Dojo. Dojo's a supercomputer. So we talked about AI energy, robotics. Dojo's their supercomputer chip. They need that because NVIDIA, now I'm not certain about this. My assumption is that NVIDIA doesn't make chips specifically for FSD, maybe for the car to run, but not to train the car. I could be wrong, but they have their own supercomputer. Eventually, they're not going to need NVIDIA. That might take 5 years. NVIDIA is very advanced. I'm not an expert on that. All I know is they have Dojo supercomputer on top of all that. That's going to be training physical / knowledge work AI. Then they connect it to Neuralink. They connect it to the Boring Company. They connect it to Starlink, which is the internet. They connect it to Twitter, X. They connect it to every other damn business he has. I'm telling you, you need to stay focused on Tesla. Now, of course, I think Chainlink grows a lot faster than Tesla because it's much smaller. Tesla's big, but Tesla, this trend is going to explode. It consolidates for 3 years and then it explodes. And we're near that point of explosion. I think we're at all-time highs by the end of the year. And you're going to get a whole lot of shorts starting to squeeze, starting to cover, and there's a whole lot of fund managers. Anyways, back to it. Where are we at now? We're looking at the manufacturing aspect of it, manufacturing, whatever, anything. Oh, financial health, earnings, price prediction. So what did we see on earnings recently? And before we get there, let me see. I think this was the earnings. Here we go. Yeah, let's just go ahead and pull that up. We'll pull up the earnings. We'll read it along. The other part was the financial health, which we'll find on there. We'll go through all that. And then we'll do the technicals. We'll do the technicals last. Some of you want to see the technicals now, huh? It's just that I get excited about that. I want to end it on the technicals. Let's go ahead and take a deep dive. Not a deep dive. I'm not like super smart at fundamentals, but we get the basics down. You just need the basics. You don't need to know every little granular detail. All you need to know is that there's more money coming into the market. Tesla's a leading monopoly in their field. It's going much higher. Forget the short term. That's irrelevant. You're not a trader. If you are trading, then you don't care anyways, right? Investors, we're speaking to investors here. All right. So here's kind of what the perplexity, pulled up for earnings during this report. I like to look at revenue growth. Okay. I like to look at revenue growth. What's going on with revenue growth? Man, this is good. All right. So Tesla successfully launched its Robo taxi service. As we expand, it's going to go higher. Service with paying customers in Austin, plans hyper exponential expansion to the additional US cities, pending regulatory approval. That's the other big thing. As soon as they're doing it in Phoenix, as soon as that regulation loosens up, and it's coming, boom, the stock is going to explode. You're lucky that we're pulling back right now. This is a spring. This is a beach ball underwater, or a spring just springing up. It's getting ready to explode. US cities pending regulatory approval and targets covering half the US population by year end. What? Targets covering half the US population by year end. Damn. Expected material finance. You got to buy the stock. No financial advice. Expected material financial impact by end of year with long-term robo taxi. Do I need to scroll up? Do I need to zoom in? Here we go. Let's zoom in. Okay. But now you can see with long-term robo taxi cost per mile potentially as low as 25 to 30 cents for purpose-built vehicles. So per mile, that would be, how cheap is that? I don't know. That's pretty cheap. I'm not going to be doing the mathematician up here, but 25 cents per mile. Let's say I go downtown, $2.50. I might pay $5 to go downtown. And guess what? I don't have to tip the driver because it's AI, right? It's going to be cheaper. It's only going to get cheaper. The cost for them to run this, no one can beat them. That's first principles. No one can beat Tesla at what they're doing. As time goes by, as long as everybody else adapts to that trend, it's game over, right? So they're planning to go through half the US by the year end. That's aggressive target. They always do that, which is why the stock pops and it comes down because it's hard to meet those targets. That's why I always say you want to buy the rip lower, which we're about to get probably a 10% rip lower. I would start scaling in around 300, 280, 270 is probably the low. Adoption of full self-driving, FSD increased 25% since V12 launch. And with new lower subscription pricing, okay, nice, price sensitive. Tesla reports vehicles on FSD are 10 times safer than without, and further expansion of FSD, including unsupervised personal use, expected in certain geographies by year end. Lower cost Tesla vehicle production began in Q1 2025. Ramping up will be slow, but they're not going to release Model 2, I believe. So that's got pushed back because they are losing regulatory credits. That's a hit on them. Basically, they're losing money from the government. So what they're going to do is try to use those credits, I guess, this quarter as fast as possible. So they're going to delay some stuff later. It's irrelevant. They're going to produce more. Lower cost Tesla vehicles began, blah, 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 maxing deliveries before US EV tax credits expire. There we go. Focusing on maximizing deliveries before those tax credits expire, and the additional complexity of new models with broader availability, blah, blah, blah. Tesla Optimus, here we go. This is what we want to hear about. Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot V3 prototype will begin production at the start of next year with scale target at 100,000 robots per month within 5 years. That's insane. Optimus is anticipated to be Tesla's biggest product ever, with initial revenues expected to be immaterial until production ramps, right? So what might that look like? Let's take a look here. Here's what we're looking at. Right? Doing all the labor. So that should be interesting. I mean, that's one thing. They can fold, they can make up your bed, and they can lift 2-ton, well, maybe not 2-ton. They can lift half-ton steel bars. I don't know, whatever. So forget what they can do. It's what the stock can do. That's what we're here for. Why? Because we need to own the future. Why? Because you're getting screwed with inflation every year that the Fed prints money. Oops. Wrong one. Right, what were we looking at? Here we go. Okay, so rest of the report. Near-term challenges include loss of US EV storage and storage tax credits. Okay, and increased tariffs affecting both revenue and cost. CapEx for 2025 is expected to. Here's the good part. The good thing is batteries are cheaper. They're getting cheaper and cheaper, so their margins are going to recover. Okay. 9 billion driven by investment in AI manufacturing, energy storage with record Powerwall deployment. Okay, so record deployment in Powerwalls and strong megapack demand. That's for institutions. Think Powerwall residential, megapack industrial. Demand despite policy tariff headwinds. Great. Okay, nice. So what about our, oh, say they did beat revenue. Okay, they beat revenue. I haven't even looked at the report yet. Because it's kind of irrelevant right now. I think this is all the same. Let's look at their financials then. All right, so we're sitting at $1 trillion. Debt is going up. I'm not used to seeing it here. See if I can free cash flow. So they're kind of stuck. They're a little stuck, but that's irrelevant. It's all about the future, right? And here's the thing. All their earnings will go up as soon as the Fed cuts. The Fed will toss that up in September. And I'm telling you, Tesla, you have 1 month. If the Fed doesn't toss a cut up and they become very hawkish, then yeah, we can see some more downside for sure. We'll definitely see some more downside. So here's the bearish signal. Earnings volatility. Tesla's net income surged 5.5 billion in 2021 to peak off 15 billion, reflecting intense pricing pressure. Competitors. Tesla quarterly global EV sales. So the sales are down. Okay, that's, yeah, we know that's bearish. Despite revenue growth from 53 billion in 2021 to 97 billion in 2024, Tesla's gross profit, dude, their revenue is so crazy though. I mean, I guess a lot of times already went by, but I remember when their revenue was only like 10 billion. That's crazy. 26 to 22 billion impacted profitability. Where's the bullish stuff at? Nah, bro. Okay, no, I don't want to see that. Back to income statement. Where's our balance sheet at? Oh yeah, we got everything on here. Okay, balance sheet. Nice. Total assets are still increasing. I mean, that financial health is good. We're straight. Total equity continues to soar. Although that's 2024, I want to see Q1. Cash flow is key. Also, their Bitcoin holdings went up, so they made a lot with Bitcoin. They made a lot with Bitcoin. Listen, Tesla, you don't want to sleep on Tesla. I'm telling you guys. You want as much as you can. And you don't want to be so diversified if you're looking for growth. Figma IPO. You know what? I don't chase bigs. I never chase the damn IPOs. I never chase the IPOs. I'm sure it'll soar because it's a crypto. It's probably a good trade. I think it'll be a good trade, bigs. But I'm not planning on it just because I'm already like I'm doing so many other things. I'm long MicroStrategy right now. Maybe I'll mess with Figma, but I would have to trade it. I don't want to just buy it. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But I think you should take a crack at it if you want. Isaiah, the Tesla restaurant is the first consumer use of Optimus. Oh, interesting. Oh, I didn't know Optimus was actually delivering. I did not realize that. So yeah, Optimus is basically another person. That's the bull case here. I think we've already went through what is the research? What do they got in here? Tesla. We've went over everything. The overview. We got the overview. The bull cases. Here's a bull case since we have see so many bear cases. Tesla's global expansion efforts and return to sales growth in key markets like China suggest the company can rebound from 2024's delivery declines. Continued investment in AI and robotaxi program is expected to boost demand. Differentiate it. Listen, they're at the lows. Tesla's business has slowed so much because of how fast and rapid it expanded in 2020 and 2021. So the price is going to move up over time because it's bottoming out. It's way more forward looking than other businesses, right? All the earnings growth, all the revenue is in the future. So once we anticipate tax cuts, it's game over. Not tax cuts, I'm sorry. You know what I'm talking about. All right, let's get to the technicals. This is why we're here. I only want to make a 30-minute video too. Didn't want to go too long. Let's go. Here we go. So, here's the juicy stuff. What are we looking for here? We're forming a bullish wedge pattern. If we get this break, here's what we're looking for. Here's what we're looking at the break of this in the short term for the first cycle. Okay, we're gonna start from this. Boom, boom. We're looking to get to the 1. Okay, the 1. So we should be moving up to around 370. If we can break past 370 over the next cycle, which could take 2 months, 3 months, if we can get above 2, I mean, we could be there. If the Fed announces that cut, we could be there in August. We could be at 370, right? Get above 370, you're retesting all-time highs pretty much. And then your super extension, which would be going into the end of the year, is going to be around 550 to 600, right? Now, if we take a bigger approach to it, right? If we take all the momentum, there's a couple ways to measure it. Now we're looking at all-time highs in I mean, Tesla can move on its own. We're looking at all-time highs in September, maybe, right? I think you just need a tax cut. You're going to get a big squeeze. And then going into the end of the year, boom, you're moving up to 600, maybe 640, 650. Okay, so those are your two cases right there from the Fibonacci, just looking at the previous. Now, we're not going to do a fib all the way back. That thing's going to go to like 1,000. So let's just stay at 650. My price target is 600 by the end of the year. Bull case. Bear case, we get back to all-time highs around 480-ish, 450 for end of the year, just because you're going to have that rally into the end of the year. And it's a very strong bull market. This is a very, very strong bull market, right? Let's look at momentum, okay? So if we look at the momentum, the RSI, we are on the daily at least. We're still climbing here. Dang, I have a lot of stuff on here. I realize that. Let's just tone this down. So the RSI is what? Buying pressure. Buying pressure is at least picking up. So this pullback is perfect. Look at that wedge. And really, we're right between these prices. This is like an inflection. I want to say it's 280 to 300. Huge inflection zone where you had, price on that on that sell off, we got crushed below that, resisted, broke above it, support. This is the level. As a matter of fact, we're probably coming down to 290-ish. That's why I said 300, 270 at the lows, which would be down here. That's what I think. You got to scoop it up. I think you got to just hold it. This thing, the boom, I'm telling you, the macro is so strong. The macro setup is so strong. There's no stopping this bull market. Okay. Um, Especially all the productivity gains that you're about to get. MACD, same thing. MACD crossing over to the upside. Last time we had that crossover, right? A strong crossover. I mean, we had two here. We went from 230 to 290. And then again, we went from that wasn't really a clean crossover though. It already crossed. But we're just getting that crossover now. Price is going to pull back, so it'll delay that cycle a little bit. But I think it's going to look more like this. We're going to pull back from 270 to 230 and then make new all-time highs. That's what I think we're looking at. The weekly is a little better, right? I like the weekly RSI. I like the weekly stuff to look at the trend a little more. So when I look at the weekly, I see that's the breakout. Oops. When I look at the weekly, RSI still above. We got two matches. RSI is above the halfway mark. We're accelerating. We pulled back. We're really, how would I say this? We're pressurizing. We're compressing. Momentum is compressing, and it's either breaking out or breaking down. You're a fool if you think Tesla is going to break all the way down because this stupid earnings report. Maybe I'm the fool. I doubt it. Okay. It's going to be consolidating and it's waiting for a catalyst because this is a strong, like I said, very strong bull market. Stochastics have us at all-time highs. We're going to have to see the price action, but I think 270, 290, somewhere around there is probably the bottom. 300, it could just bounce right off. It really depends on the rest of the market. Does the VIX start to go up? We might have an earnings sell-off, but that's a big possibility. The thing is, Apple has a lot of room for the upside, so I don't think it's going to be that bad. Microsoft's up too much. When I look at the Mag 7, how far can they drag down the indexes? Well, you have Meta, and we'll come back to Tesla. You have Meta consolidating, so it's not going to drag us down too bad, assuming we get a sell-off. Microsoft probably does. Okay. Microsoft probably does sell off, and if it doesn't, great, that's better. Nvidia probably consolidates. I don't even know, honestly. Nvidia, I'd never, that's the one stock it cannot predict, other than if it draws down too much, it's going to bounce, right? Apple, I'm trading Apple for the breakout. I think Apple's going to start breaking out. They're probably going to announce something. Who knows? Apple, Google. We saw Google today. I mean, this bull market is strong. You need consolidation. It's a head and shoulders. Okay, good luck. Meta. Right. So, anyways, back to Tesla. We're not overextended. My point is we're not overextended. So I think if crypto continues to lead, if Bitcoin goes up, Tesla's going to bounce rather quickly because they own so much Bitcoin, right? They're kind of tied into that as a risk asset narrative. So those look great. How is the monthly? And where are we on the Bollinger Bands? The monthly's holding above. The monthly's also expanding. Let's go to Bollinger Bands. And I want to go back to the weekly for this. Come on. We'll take these off. Bollinger Bands are telling us we really do need to support 290. That's probably the level. 290, 290, 290, 300, 290. And of course, knowing Tesla is going to slip, for a day. As long as it recovers quickly, not worried about it. Bollinger Bands. How about anchored view? Let's look at volume profile since the sell-off. Where's the volume at? You have volume at 316, 275. Okay, 275. So it's possible we come back to 270, like I said, but I'm still going to bet that we bounce at 300-ish first, right? It's irrelevant. It's really irrelevant. Let's just see how it plays out. Let's see how it plays out, right? Who knows? We might gap up tomorrow. The point is, you don't want to sleep on super manufacturing. You don't want to sleep on all these damn narratives hitting at the same time. And really, my biggest catalyst is the Fed's going to announce a cut, right? Bullard's already talking about, one of the Fed governors, he's already talking about dissenting against another pause. They want to cut. They're going to cut. Plus, there's a lot of political pressure from Trump. And all he's doing is stirring the pot so that to put pressure on people to say, you know what, let's just cut. It's very interesting because Paul, Besant, he could be the next Fed governor. Like, it's game over. These stocks are exploding. You just got to be patient. Don't F it up. What else are we looking for? So anchored, I want to look at anchored VWAP also from the high. See, we're above that. So what? 315. We might slip below it. Let's go to the lows. I don't think we're coming back to the lows. 290. It's the same thing. We are gearing up in between this three. I mean, it's really 350, but I'm assuming we sell off, right? 330 to like 275. That's the zone. That's the zone. You want to be accumulating next generation manufacturing. You want to be accumulating Star Trek here. This is Star Trek. We're looking at Star Trek. You want to be accumulating it, okay? Simple moving averages. I mean, I don't even care about that. I've seen enough bullish price action. Look, we broke the downtrend, this monster rally. We broke that downtrend. Okay, we went right to all-time highs, broke out, came right back down because it's Tesla, retested, held, picked right back up, consolidating another level. Okay, you got to be bullish. You got to be bullish. It's going to be the best outperformer out of the Mag 7. Who's going to outperform them? Maybe Apple. Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Disney, NVIDIA. Maybe Apple, NVIDIA, possibly. You got to be long Tesla. Got to be long Tesla. I think we've went over pretty much everything. Any questions? You got to be bullish. I mean, you can go like kind of zoom in and say, oh, well, what about this and that? I mean, this is a pullback you want to buy. You're hoping it goes lower. You're really hoping, you're praying that it goes lower so you can own it lower. So my price target, okay, now let's go ahead and look out to 2027. We'll end with that, right? Just to stay bullish. Look at this. This is Tesla's history right here. Consolidate for how many years? How many days do we consolidate? Yeah, that's the opening. I get it. For you consolidated for 3 years and you broke out. Here's another consolidation. This was even longer. This was 6 years? 6 years of consolidation and then a 10x. And then here we're going on 5 years of consolidation. That breakout is coming. That breakout is coming. I'm telling you guys. You probably already know. That's probably annoying. I hate when my mom says that. She'll be like, I'm telling you. And I'm like, damn it. Anyways, Tesla's bullish as hell. You got to stay bullish. And I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna put out a report though. Go make sure you go check out the Discord if you're not already on there. It's free. Go look in the YouTube description. Twitter, go look at YouTube. I can put it underneath, but free Discord, free newsletter. I'm gonna put out a report, a moat analysis on Tesla. If you're already familiar with Tesla, you probably don't care, but something to research, something to read about. It's gonna be sent out. Go sub to the newsletter. The Discord should be in there. And then what else we got? Macro free, not free macro course, but I do have a more advanced macro course because, and this is what I want to talk about. If anything, what's going to happen here with the macro? Okay, we already have a funding for the bull market, and I'm going to do this later because this is going to be a whole nother video, but I'm excited about this. Like the market is expanding in breadth. Interest rates are not going to much higher. Inflation is down and it's deflating. Oh, the TLT is going to break out, which means rates are going to go lower pretty soon. That's rocket fuel. You got to be very bullish for Tesla. All right, I'm done. Catch you guys later. Stay informed. Go get your workout. Eat healthy. Stay disciplined. And, be minimalist. You don't need to eat everything. You don't need to buy everything you see. Save your money. You have a future. Invest in your future. Don't be forced into society's bull SHIT. Okay? Help somebody that's in need. And take care of yourselves. All right. Take care of yourselves. I'll catch you next time. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, crypto, and macro. Have a good day. Stay blessed.